boat that you are travelling on today is the Silver Bonito, operated by Wood Silver Fleet. There are toilets located downstairs, situated at the back of the boat near where you entered. For the comfort of all our guests, we ask that you refrain from smoking on this cruise. If you have a mobile phone, please switch it to silent now. Before we depart, please listen carefully to the following short safety announcement. This boat is licensed to carry 249 passengers. We maintain constant contact with Thames Navigation Service and the River Police at all times. This boat is fully equipped with a full complement of life jackets and life rafts. The life jackets are stowed underneath the fixed seating in the lower level and in the locker on the upper deck, clearly marked with green signs. All exits are clearly marked. From the lower saloon, there are doors at both sides of the vessel, or you can exit through the sliding windows. The upper deck is easily accessible by steps either side of the lobby. In the unlikely event of an emergency, the captain will give you full instructions. For your own safety, and in particular for any young children on board, please remain seated as much as possible.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome on board your one-way trip to Southend-on-Sea. The journey time is approximately 3 hours or so, so make sure that you sit back, kick back and relax. I'm only joking! I love the look on all your faces. I got you. I'm sorry. My name's Elizabeth. I'll be with you today for the next 45 minutes. Don't worry. We'll be back at the pier at past, so don't you worry. But I'm not just a disembodied voice. I do have a human form. I'm just on the lower deck at the moment, just behind you all. Hello. You may remember me from starring roles such as scanning your tickets. Ooh. So I just have a few safety announcements to get out of the way with before we begin. For those of you on the upper deck at the moment, please make sure you stay seated as much as you can. This is because if you have a look behind you, we have the wheelhouse there, where the captain is steering the boat from the wheelhouse. So if you all stand up, well, he won't be able to see where he's going, and we don't want another Titanic catastrophe happening. So please make sure you stay in your seats and keep the central aisle clear of the upper deck as well. So I will not interfere with your basic human right to go to the toilet, though. I'm not that cruel. Don't you worry. Head downstairs to the back of the boat. The toilets are situated down there. And if English is not your first language, we do have free audio guides available in Spanish, French, Italian, Russian, German, Mandarin, Japanese or Dutch. So head downstairs, see my colleague Nala, and she'll be happy to help you out with one of those should you need one. Although I do understand the irony that if you didn't understand English, then you may not have understood what I just said. But audio guides are downstairs. Great, I believe that is everything out of the way. We can get started on the sides, and on our left hand side we have the Houses of Parliament, also known as the New Palace of Westminster, most famous as a place where people would be tried for treason. If you have a look on the left, at the very end of the palace, at the embankment, you'll see a little turret there with some steps leading down into the water, just in front of that grey kind of square block there. And that little turret is one of London's oldest and smallest prisons. So traitors who had been found guilty in the Palace of Westminster would be taken to that turret. So traitors like Guy Fawkes, who tried to blow up Parliament, remember the 5th of November, and William Wallace, also known as Braveheart, or Mel Gibson. But they were tried for treason, kept in that little prison before they'd be taken down those steps and taken to the Tower of London, where they would await their execution to have their heads chopped off. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll be taking that very same journey today up to the Tower of London, so hopefully we won't end up in the same fate. We'll see, we'll see. As long as there's no standing on the upper deck at least, I will have to rugby tackle you down, and I'm not very good at that. And on our left we have the clock tower that we all know of as Big Ben. Put your hands up if you can see Big Ben. Yeah, you see that? That's Big Ben. Yeah. Well, unfortunately it's scaffolded, but that's not really what I'm talking about. Alright, you just have a seat for me. So, everyone calls this tower Big Ben. We all know it as Big Ben. But unfortunately, unless any of us on board have X-ray vision, none of us can see Big Ben. I'm not talking about scaffolding. So, Big Ben is actually the name of the 14-ton bell inside of the clock tower. And the tower itself is simply called the Elizabeth Tower, named after myself. I'm joking. Queen Elizabeth I. And the bell inside is Big Ben. So the name Big Ben comes from one of the architects for the clock tower. His name was Sir Benjamin Hall. He was about 6 feet tall, about almost as wide really. He had a massive belly on him. His colleagues thought that the shape of his belly looked rather much like the shape of the bell. So they named the bell Big Ben. Let's just say thank goodness his name wasn't Richard. Takes a while to sink in. But have a look to your right, we have a view of the lovely Coca-Cola London Eye there. It is the world's largest cantilevered observation wheel. We don't like to use the F word for the London Eye. It's not a Ferris wheel, no! It's an observation wheel because the capsules are on the outside of the wheel. They're all completely enclosed and there's nothing supporting it over the river. If you have a look, there's only an A-frame on one side. So very unique. So it cost about £75 million to build London Eye. It was only supposed to be here for 5 years, built for the millennium, hence why it did used to be called the Millennium Wheel. Although it was so popular, it made a lot of people happy. And money. But it's not going anywhere anytime soon. It's here to stay, really. But the bridge in front of us, the Golden Jubilee footbridges, sorry, and these were designed to complement the London Eye. You can see it does look somewhat similar there. These footbridges lead into South Bank there on the right-hand side. A lovely area to visit. Go there, have a good snog. They do great snogs there. That's the frozen yogurts in the pink box. But as we go under these bridges here, make some noise for the Golden Jubilee footbridges. It's the only time you'll really get to wave to random strangers in London without getting a restraining order. Get your waves going, guys. On the right we have Royal Festival Hall there. It's a world-class concert hall, home to London's Philharmonic Orchestra. If you go to the back of Royal Festival Hall right now, there's a lovely food market there, South Bank Food Market, featuring food from around the globe really. Street food, catering to all different sorts of diets. So definitely worth a visit. So go there after you go off the cruise today, definitely worth it. This whole area on the right hand side is the South Bank Centre. It's a hub of the arts really, lots of street performers, skateboarders, singers. Definitely a place to walk down on a weekend like today. In front of us we have a Waterloo Bridge here, nicknamed the Ladies' Bridge as it was built mostly by women since all the men went off to war. There's no photographic evidence of this there, but there are 3 indications it's true. Number 1, it's the only bridge in London ever to be built on time. Number 2, it's the only bridge in London ever to be built under budget. And number 3, it's a self-cleaning bridge. Made of Portland stone, reacts with the acid rain, and it cleans itself. Hashtag girl power. On the right we have a stone building there with the electronic advertising on, and that is the Royal National Theatre. Many people say it looks like a multi-storey car park. And Prince Charles described that building as looking like the back end of a nuclear power station. It's very sad because it's lovely inside. It contains 3 theatres, and their tickets start from £15, very affordable, as a lot of their plays do end up being transferred to West End and Broadway. So if you ever see West End prices, well, they are a lot more than £15. But if this isn't quite your thing though, I do have something for you still. Over right next to it, just on the right hand side, behind the trees, you'll see a white building. It's a bit blocked right now, but those are the London ITV studios. So ITV is the second largest broadcasting company in the UK, the first being the BBC. But ITV brings you many of your favourite and highly educational programmes, such as The Jeremy Kyle Show, Loose Women, Take Me Out, Ant and Dec's Saturday Night Takeaway, which is now just Dec's Saturday Night Takeaway. Oh no. Oh, is there not? And ITV also brings you the world famous Love Island. They film those on the beaches there on the right hand side. We like to call it the Costa del Thames. Go here, we've got a sandcastle suit. They don't film Love Island here, I'm joking, but it's the only bit of beach in London you'll really get from a long way away. I recommend you do not fall asleep on that beach though, as the tide often comes in about twice a day, so you'll find yourself washed up in the river somewhere if you do end up falling asleep, so don't do that. But they do sandcastle building competitions there as well. There's a gentleman who goes down to that beach every day to build a sandcastle. Makes lovely sculptures out of them. But that area behind that is Gabriel's Wharf as well. And lots of street food there, gourmet pizza, very delicious I'm sure. Now have a look to your left now, we have a good view of St Paul's Cathedral, and that is a building with a large dome on top. It was built in 1710 by Sir Christopher Wren. Replaces the medieval cathedral that had burned down in the Great Fire of London in 1666. So it's the second largest dome building in the world, the first being St. Peter's in the Vatican. There's a whispering gallery inside of St. Paul's, so if you were to stand on one side of the cathedral and have another person stand on the other side of the cathedral, you'd be able to whisper to each other and hear exactly what the other person is saying. It's a great time to break up with someone. You can run down the stairs as well on the way. But we'll talk about that more as we go onto these bridges here. These are Blackfriars bridges, nicknamed the 2.5 bridges. If you're wondering why, you can see the first bridge here is the Foot and Road Bridge. And the very last bridge there is the actual train station. And as we go onto these bridges here, have a look to your left, have a look to your right. You'll see some mysterious strange red columns. Are they giant bird feeding tables? Are they too sponsored by Coca-Cola? Are they the River Thames' version of Stonehenge? Well, we'll find out on our return journey, but for now, I shall keep you in suspense and share with you the suspense on our cruise. I'm sure you're dying to hear what they're for. But back to St Paul's there on the left hand side. If you have a look at the very top of the dome, there's a golden cross there at the moment, but originally Sir Christopher Wren wanted a golden pineapple. Because back then, pineapples represented wealth and prosperity. You would have been rich if you had a pineapple back in those days. Unfortunately, it only costs about 99p from Tesco nowadays. We're all rich now. In front of us we have the Millennium Bridge, nicknamed the Wobbly Bridge. Built for the millennium though, it had to close after only 8 hours due to an unexpected wobble. It was swaying 7 inches from side to side, making people violently ill into the river below. NASA had to get involved in order to fix the wobble. Yes, the NASA. It took about 18 months to fix Wobble, costing more to fix than it did to build in the first place. The architect Lord Norman Foster was asked on live national television what was wrong with his design. Now he's a northerner and he said, "There's nothing wrong with my design. It's just the way you people of London walk." Apparently we march, which caused the wobble. It's a very bad excuse. But have a look to your right, you'll see a white building there with a thatched roof, and that is a detailed reproduction of Shakespeare's Globe Theatre. So in the summer months they perform many of Shakespeare's plays there, starting from April 23rd, which is Shakespeare's birth and his death date as well. And it's a very authentic and lively experience. You're encouraged to cheer and jeer at the actors, just like the old Shakespearean audience would have done back in the days. And tickets start from £5, very affordable. And do make sure you pick the weather wisely though, because if it rains, you do get wet, as it is an open air theatre. And also you will be standing for a good few hours, about 4 hours or so, or as long as Shakespeare's plays are at least, and they do tend to last for quite a while. That's not the original one though. The original one was burnt down after an actor fired a cannon at the thatched roof during one of the live sets, and now a thatched roof and a fire doesn't bode very well, so he really brought the house down with that decision. It's safe to say that he was most definitely fined. He was not very popular for that. The site of the original is just where the black glass building is on the right. It's got the letters FT on it, now the Financial Times headquarters, but in its car park, that was once the site of the original Globe Theatre. They even have a plaque to prove it. If you still don't believe me, look to your right, you'll see a pub there with the red windows. That is the Anchor Pub. It used to be called the Bankside Tavern. William Shakespeare and his actors used that pub as a changing room before heading off to the Globe Theatre. Charles Dickens drank in there. Tom Cruise was there at the end of the first Mission Impossible. It's a favourite of Russell Brand's. Dr. Samuel Johnson drank there. Samuel Pepys, famous diarist. He watched the Great Fire of London rage on from that very pub, and he famously complained when ash from the fire fell into his ale. They have award-winning fish and chips, so definitely worth a visit. Very expensive, but I'm sure it's delicious. But aha, there, shiver me timbers. What have we got here? On our right-hand side, I see me, a pirate ship. Can I get an R? Can I get a louder R? What be a pirate's favourite letter? What is it? It'd be the C, Lizzie. Bad jokes, bad jokes. But that is a replica of Sir Francis Drake's Golden Hind. In 1577, Sir Francis Drake became the very first Englishman to travel all the way around the world on his Golden Hind. He returned 3 years later, bringing with him £25 million worth of treasure, which he had stolen all from the Spanish and the Portuguese. So for any Spanish or Portuguese on board this cruise today, muchas gracias or obrigado, but you're not getting that money back. That's because it paid off the national debt 3 times over. Queen Elizabeth I was so happy with this money that she ended up giving him a knighthood instead of having his head chopped off, as a pirate's fate would have originally been. Even sent to have dinner with the Queen as well. So it's now time for a bit of audience participation on board the river cruise. I want you to put your hands up in the air like you just don't care, and I want you to point on the count of 3 and tell me which direction is London Bridge. Where is it? London Bridge? London Bridge Hospital? No? Okay, for those of you who are pointing in front of you, you are wrong.
Just behind you.
I'm sorry. London Bridge was a boring slab of stone we just passed behind us. In front of us we have Tower Bridge. Don't worry if you got it wrong though. Even Google gets it wrong. If you Google pictures of London Bridge, it comes up with lots and lots and lots of pictures of Tower Bridge, the one in front of us. Even a singer, Fergie from the Black Eyed Peas, she got it wrong. She filmed her song, London Bridge, and filmed it of her twerking away on Tower Bridge. What a mistake. But maybe you didn't see her there because she's painted in her North Atlantic camouflage. We have there on the right hand side the HMS Belfast. She is an 11,500 ton cruiser, participated in the Russian convoys, the Korean War, the D-Day landings and many, many more. Just make sure you stretch those arms for those photographs while keeping your bums in your seats, otherwise I will come and get you. So if you have a look at the guns at the very front of the ship there, they can fire up to 12 miles, and that is as far as Kew Gardens or Croydon. It was built in the same boatyards as the Titanic, although it's fared a lot better than the Titanic though. They weren't going to scrap it for metal though originally, until they sold it instead to the Imperial War Museum for the grand total price of £1. Yes, they sold it for £1. It's now a floating museum. All access on there is on board. Lovely day out. They do school sleepovers on there. They call it Keep on a Ship. Oh, very cute. And in front of us we have the world famous Tower Bridge. Anyone on board from San Francisco today? Oh good, there's no one on here. I would have said our bridge is better than yours. Sorry, San Francisco. The most photographed bridge in the world, and you're all contributing to that today as well. It's a bascular bridge, which means the bascules in the middle can be opened to let tall ships sail through. Back in its heyday, it used to be opened up to 14 times a day. Nowadays though, it's only opened a few times a week. Have a look on the website though, they do tell you the opening times on there. As we go under this bridge, it is very important that you make as much noise as you can and wave to all the random strangers on this bridge as you get 5 years good luck. So 1, 2, 3. Woo! Brilliant. Keep waving though. We want more. We want all the good luck. 5 years good luck. Lovely. 5 years good luck for everyone on board. So the gentleman there in the grey shirt and the glasses, his name is Paul, and we actually pay Paul to stand on that bridge every hour to wave to you all to make sure you get your good luck, because we can't have you missing out on that. I've heard it's also 10 years good luck if you stand on a bridge and throw money at passing tour boats. So definitely good recommendations there. But I didn't make you wave just to make you look silly. I wouldn't do that to you. Victorian superstition dictates that this is the last bridge and the very last chance that sailors would get to wave goodbye to their very special loved ones before they'd set sail for 5 whole years. It's okay, they got their good luck. It meant they returned safe and sound within 5 years. Right now though, we're in the old port of London, and back in 1914 this was the biggest and busiest port in the entire world. It used to be jam-packed with boats and barges. You used to be able to walk all the way from one side of the river and all the way to another just by stepping from barge to boat without getting your feet wet. It used to be completely jam-packed. These warehouses here were full until containerization took place and they did become derelict, and a savvy American came and bought up the warehouses here very cheap, and then he refurbished them into very expensive apartments. A riverfront facing apartment would set you back about £5 million nowadays though, but I'm sure it boasts lovely views of the river. But I think that good luck is already manifesting itself for you all here today. Have a look to your left hand side. We have a lovely view of Tower Bridge there stretched across the river. Old and new London in the background as well. We've got the walkie-talkie there, the Shard, Tower of London, City Hall there, bit of St Paul's Cathedral in the background. We can even see the BT Tower from here if you look closely. Post this up as a new Facebook cover photo. Post on Instagram, but do hashtag it right. This is hashtag Tower Bridge. Hashtag not London Bridge. Hashtag sorry Fergie, wrong bridge. Hashtag Elizabeth is the best tour guide ever.